I want to welcome you back to Houston Newsmakers with some sobering facts about Alzheimer's disease. It kills more every year than breast and prostate cancer combined. Think about that. More than breast and prostate cancer combined. 6 million Americans are living with it right now, a number expected to be close to 13 million by 2050. 2/3 of Americans with Alzheimer's are women, and older black Americans are twice as likely as older whites to have Alzheimer's. And the cost of Alzheimer's and other dementias will cost the United States $321 billion. It's a lot of money, a lot of conversation to be had. Now that I have your attention, meet Richard Elbein, who is very acquainted with those facts. He is the CEO of the Alzheimer's Association for Houston and Southeast Texas. Good morning. Thank you for being here. That's a lot of information out there for a lot of people. I know you've been working with this for decades now.
Correct.
For people who don't know, what's the difference between dementia and Alzheimer's?
Well, dementia is an umbrella term that describes a set of symptoms that we can observe. Mm-hmm. So changes in thinking, reasoning, memory, those are examples of what becomes dementia. And then the question is, what's causing that dementia? And one of the most common causes of dementia is a disease called Alzheimer's disease.
Got it. I just painted a not so rosy picture about where Alzheimer's is right now. I've heard sounds of optimism, though, coming from Alzheimer's research recently.
Right.
So that's got to be, you're excited about these kinds of information. What's the latest that gives you pause for happiness?
Sure. So you probably about a year ago heard about a drug called Aduhelm or aducanumab, which is a monoclonal antibody that is targeting the amyloid, which is a protein in the brain, one of the two hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. And that drug, there was some controversy around it. Well, the next generation in that same class of monoclonal antibodies called lecanemab has been, you've heard a lot about it, and it actually seems to be much more effective. And not only does it clear that protein, amyloid in the brain, the indications are that it also reduces the decline of Alzheimer's disease by about 27%. So it's actually treating the disease, not just treating symptoms. And that's a huge breakthrough.
So but up to this point, we've always been talking about maybe slowing down the disease, treating the disease. We're not at a point where we can talk about curing the disease, are we?
We're not there, which is the reason we continue to need to fund research. We still don't fully understand how the brain works. We still don't fully understand the disease process of Alzheimer's disease. And we need better biomarkers so that we can identify the disease very early, the same way we identify markers of heart disease very early with cholesterol, for example. Mm-hmm. So all of those kinds of areas of research are very important for us to continue to fund.
How do we know? Let's talk about this for a second. What are the signs that someone might be developing Alzheimer's? We see some of the video here of people who are older. Clearly, Alzheimer's dementias are impacting more people who are older as opposed to younger.
Right.
But what do you, if I think a loved one may have some symptoms, how do I know what they are? And then once I find out maybe they have them, who do I go to be analyzed for this?
Sure. So there are a list of symptoms, and people can visit our website at alz.org to see them, but it's changes in thinking, reasoning, memory. So the most common for Alzheimer's is changes in memory, where a person starts to not remember things that seem to be available to them in the past. The names of people, if they were good at names, or being able to remember where they place their keys, or so it could be all kinds of getting lost in familiar places.
And it should be said that sometimes those kinds of things are normal. I've talked to my doctor, says, don't get concerned about that. A lot of people, when you get to a certain age, you're going to start to do that. But some things are normal as opposed to abnormal.
Well, so normal changes in memory, thinking, reasoning are really about being slower, more than completely. So we all lose our keys. The question is, when you find them, do you recognize them? Can you retrace your steps, or are you completely at a loss for where you were before? So when I lose my keys, I know when I entered the house, and I go back and trace my steps to find it. Mm-hmm. But someone who's having significant cognitive decline may not be able to do that. They may put their keys or their wallet or their purse in a place that completely doesn't make sense, in the freezer or in the oven. So I mean, of course, over time, those symptoms get more and more pervasive.
We talk about research and how important it is, and Houston is very much a focal point for a lot of things that are going on, including how people's social lives or what they do in their lives, how that might impact their ability to get Alzheimer's or not. How the conference that was going on this past week, for example.
Sure. So Houston, of course, we have the largest medical center in the world, I think, and we're a center for Alzheimer's research. Right now, the Alzheimer's Association funds about 30 projects in the medical center and some of the related academic institutions. We're funding about $10 million in research looking at all areas of Alzheimer's disease and progression. So the national meeting that just happened was for one of those studies, which is a study looking at lifestyle interventions and to see if we can change the risk of Alzheimer's disease in older adults who have a risk of Alzheimer's by modifying diet, exercise, cognitive stimulation, medical management of chronic conditions. So there's a lot of excitement around being able to do some interventions that are not just medication related, but where we can take responsibility and really take some actions early on.
What's your website so people can go get more information about it and the matching contribution campaign you have on right now?
Sure. So they can go to alz.org. And if they want to come to the Houston and Southeast Texas site, it's alz.org/Texas.
Richard Elbein, thank you so much for what you do. This is something that's going to be affecting a lot of us, either directly or indirectly, in the years to come. And the more we know, the better we can be prepared. Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you so much.